Hello, you're watching another program of Power of Law. June 1 is the International Children's Protection Day. Different sources mention the creation of this day differently. According to one source, it was decided at a Geneva conference in 1925 at a children's conference. Another source says it was in 1949 in Paris. In addition, November 20 is marked as Child Protection Day, and in addition to that, June 16 is marked as African Children Day. And it means international community pay great attention to children protection. And our guest today is the head of UNICEF Children Protection Programs, Israelyan. And we will talk about the issues of child protection. Thank you for accepting our invitation and being in the studio with us. Thank you for inviting. I would like you to present in a few words the activity of UNICEF Children Fund in Armenia. UN Children's Fund is in Armenia since 1994 and has been implementing children protection programs. Main work is with government to develop better legislation to coincide with international conventions that Armenia has joined. What are the main problems as you see it? There are so many that one program is not enough. Most of them are mentioned in 2004 Geneva closing remarks, which are normally after Armenian state report. And unfortunately, most of them are not realized in Armenia and by Armenia. We will be focusing on socially insecure children in Armenia and education needs here in the near future. How big are the problems that prevail elsewhere, like child labor, undernutrition of children, trafficking and prostitution? There are problems that are universal and some are country-specific. Fortunately, trafficking and prostitution is almost non-existent here. Child labor is unfortunately in place when parents are helped by children in rural areas, especially during farming seasons. And children often miss out schools for that, right? That's right. Unfortunately, it reflects on school attendance of children. And there are also problems specific to former Soviet countries, like big number of children in boarding schools and orphanages. Our country hasn't done much to get children back to families or foster families. Why do you think so many children are in orphanages these days? Is it social or other problem? It is mainly social conditions and lack of alternative services. As you know, we have very few child care centers for daytime, no child assistance centers, etc. And the result is that children end up in these institutions. Do you have information how many children are treated and in what way they are treated there? I wouldn't call it closed, as many NGOs visit these institutions, but it's not so great. There is a group of monitoring NGOs who collaborate with the ministry and submit reports where both building conditions are assessed as well as living standards. There is much attention paid to children. There is UN Convention and your organization is a specialized US institution, other children organizations, but if we look globally, the protection of children is not growing. Same child labor and abuses are still growing. Why these efforts aren't helping? It depends on a country. In some reforms go so fast and succeed. For example, Georgia has been able to close these institutions and will be done with them by the end of this year. They created small houses project and foster family project, which provide alternative opportunity for children to grow up in a more favorable place and under more favorable conditions. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen in Armenia, and over 4,000 children remain in these institutions. What are the problems? Problems are various, starting with means, lack of means, etc. Especially in crisis time. Right, it's not quite a justification, as international community is dedicated to help government. There are impediments with policy development and implementation. We believe there are institutions serving children over 200 days a year, which are not considered orphanages by government, but the international standards do call them orphanages. We're trying to work to change the approach and policy together to children and get them to homes. Do you cooperate with Abovian Penitentiary, where 17 juvenile criminals are kept? We work on a program which works with 8 CIS countries. One part of it is legal changes to adjust our legislation to Beijing Convention, Riyadh Convention. We are not directly working with one, but our work contributes to shaping proper attitude to them and adjusting all frameworks to international ones. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems that there are not programs for rehabilitation for released juvies. So they are forced to commit more crimes, and having no alternative, they go back to where they came from. Do you agree with this? Yes, it's a great problem. Some NGOs try to do something, but it's not on government level yet. We also tried to work on this. We met the Justice Ministry on this, including children issues, whose parents are in jail, and we plan to do a joint program until there's a state program and assistance project. There's a law on child protection in Armenia for a while. It has been here for a while, and I want your opinion, as I've heard it's too formal and does not apply any specific rules. Indeed, it's a copy-paste from Children's Convention with generic points like children have the right to education, but there is no mechanism for that, for implementation, and I believe there is need for new and more specific legal definitions. When do you think children should be allowed to work without violating anything? There are conventions on this which Armenia has joined. International community has decided on this, but I personally can't comment. But international agencies are outlining the ages based on physical and other data. According to our law, as far as I know, if parents permit, children can work as early as from 14 years of age. I think it's compliable with... Yes, it is, and the convention mentions too that if the work is within capacity of the child, in such cases it is allowed. What means are necessary, in your opinion, so we can provide higher security for children? What means can you and your organization offer? I can't say